For 34 years, the Bathhouse Cultural Center has presented its annual Dia de los Muertos art exhibition in Dallas. The theme for this year's exhibition is celebrating closeness. This exhibition of altars and contemporary art draws inspiration from the ancient Mexican tradition of the Day of the Dead, and is one of the longest-running events of its kind in the region. The closure of the gallery due to the pandemic in 2020 affected the ability of the center to display the show in person. But we believe that this video version of the project is an excellent way to keep the center's tradition alive and uninterrupted, by giving audiences in Dallas and beyond a chance to enjoy the artwork from the comfort of their homes. The virtual exhibition features photographs of art pieces that were included in some of our shows in the past, as well as video stories of artists who have created altars at their homes and businesses this year.
This is the altar for my parents, Simona and Jesus Guillen. They both lived to be 90. My dad passed in 2011 and my mother this past July. My mom loved her needlework and she was a fabulous cook and gardener. My dad would fix everything around the house, and he did a correspondence course in 1954, and he also sold watermelons in the neighborhood. And the little papers that you see here around the altar are prayers that he wrote for each sibling. I'm going to read the one he wrote for me. It says, Cuídame a Vera por donde quiera que ande, que no se enferme, que no le pase nada, que no se enferme con cáncer, y te doy gracias porque me la has cuidado por donde quiera que ha andado, y espero que me la sigas cuidando. This is our altar for 2020.
Our emphasis on including videos of family altars is in response to the difficulties that we're facing these days to get close to the people we love. This year, it has become deeply important to give people an opportunity to celebrate the life and memory of their loved ones who have departed this life. In this moment of our life, defined by the need to be separated in order to be safe, Dia de los Muertos art and altars are wonderful, creative, and wholehearted instruments for achieving closeness and for showing affection.
Dear friends, here's an ofrenda for Day of the Dead. I'm going to show you quickly how it's done. This is at my house. I just use credenza here. And you just pick whatever you want to put on the ofrenda for your dear ones. Aquí les estoy mostrando rapidito cómo hacer una ofrenda para el Día de los Muertos. As you can see on this side, it's dedicated to all the kids. I have the loteria, which is one of the games we used to play. We have domino, I have little carritos, little toys for kids. So esta parte está dedicada a los inocentes, que es el día primero. Aquí tengo el Día de los Santos, porque también es el día primero, todos los inocentes y los santos. Acá tengo una sección que es dedicada a los adultos. Les tengo un poco de comida, café, gorditas, un vinito, un tequilita. Aquí tengo unas representaciones de algunos que han fallecido también. Tenemos a Neruda, tenemos a Diego Rivera. Y bueno, mi abuelita. Acá está mi amigo Joel. Aquí está el papá de una amiga muy querida que también falleció este año. Y aquí está la señora Lucha, que era como mi segunda mamá. A ella le estoy dedicando también. Aquí tengo un perfumito, tengo unos makeup, un poco de maquillaje. I have makeup for my friend that passed this year. I have another friend's dad that also passed this year. And I'm sure somebody will like a beer. And here's my grandma. There's some bread, there's some wine, and there's some tequila for those that may be craving it out there. And just do it with respect, and this is how you can do an altar.
The tradition of Dia de los Muertos merges aspects of pre-Columbian ceremonial rites and the Catholic observance of All Saints' Day. Throughout the years, this fascinating marriage of cultures and beliefs has given birth to a type of artistic imagery, styles, and aesthetics that have been admired and embraced by artists from Mexico and, increasingly, by artists from the US and many parts of the world. I believe held by people from ancient Mesoamerican cultures and some people today is that during the celebrations of the Day of the Dead, the spirits of the departed are given permission to return to the world of the living to visit their families. This occasion happens on November 1st and 2nd.
Mi nombre es Enrique de Altamirano y quiero presentarles el altar dedicado a Frida Kahlo, donde veremos los elementos básicos de un altar tradicional mexicano, donde veremos flores, fuego, agua, que son algunos de los elementos necesarios. Gracias.
Some people also think that the returning spirits require assistance to find their way back home, as the passage from the world of the dead to our world might be filled with darkness. To aid the spirits, according to the tradition, homes and altars are marked with the brightly colored petals of cempasúchil flowers, a type of Mexican marigold flower to create a path of light that shows the souls of the dead their way back home. The monarch butterflies, migrating back in large numbers to Mexico during the festivities of the Day of the Dead, have a symbolic significance as well, because they are perceived as the spirits of the returning souls who are flying on the wings of the butterflies. Because of their deep-rooted association with the honoring of the dead, the monarch butterflies and the flowers of the dead are cherished and perceived with admiration in many parts of Mexico and Latin America. During the celebrations, a large number of people clean the cemeteries and they decorate them with flowers, candles, and food. People also build elaborate altars with offerings to the dead in public places and at their homes to welcome back each family's returning spirits. They also prepared large feasts of food and placed special gifts on the altar that include all the things that the souls might enjoy, or items that may be needed for the next life.
Hi, I am Cora Cardona in Mexico City. I am walking to Mercado Medellín in Colonia Roma, where we will see various items used during Days of the Dead. Thank you, Enrique Fernandez Cervantes, for making me part of the Days of the Dead program at the bathhouse. Here we have a balcony already decorated with cempasúchil flowers. Let's keep walking. We have arrived at the market. As you can see, there are cempasúchil flowers everywhere. These marigolds will be set at graveyards where people will commune with their departed loved ones, eating the food the souls enjoyed while alive. However, if one cannot visit the deceased at the cemetery, one sets up altars in their honor. The colors of the cempasúchil will attract the souls with their scent and color. Look at all these flowers and decorations. Days of the Dead is a festive occasion. Of pre-Hispanic origin, it honored all things that died because they nurtured the earth that in return gave us flowers and food. It was celebrated during the harvesting season, but Christianity changed it to coincide with All Saints' Day on November 1st. In Mexico, this is the day we honor the children who passed away. These are sugar skulls. They will be on altars, but also they will be given to friends with their name on it. We will write poems that need to rhyme, describing how these friends will die, a black humor touch. The presence of sweets is an important component, celebrating death and life hand in hand with sweetness. Guadalupe Posada, a graphic artist, made the Catherine and the Katrina, a bourgeois couple from the 19th century, quite famous, and Diego Rivera eternalized them on a mural called Dream of a Sunday Afternoon in the Alameda Central Park. This is the art of the cartoneria, dead, humorous figures made of cardboard. Here we have papel picado, tissue paper to decorate the altars. Thank you very much, Enrique, and everyone who watched and listened.
The Day of the Dead tradition sustains the conviction that death is a natural part of the human experience, and it proposes that those who acknowledge the relevance of life and death live intensely for the moment, because they recognize that there is a final end to life.
This is an altar for Dia de los Muertos that I made for my parents, Carolyn and Simon Selzer. I didn't really grow up with the tradition of making altars, but it's such a lovely tradition that in recent years we've started doing that, making altars to honor those that we've lost. On the left side is my dad, and these are a couple of cameras from his collection. He was an avid photographer, and he left behind more than 3,000 Kodachrome slides, all pictures of our family. In the center are items that we purchased in Oaxaca for Day of the Dead. These little skeletons are wearing lederhosen because my grandparents were German immigrants. And then on the right side is my mom's flour sifter and egg beater because she made delicious chocolate chip cookies. And that's a plate from Forest Avenue High School where my parents met. They were married more than 57 years. This is the altar for my parents.
The Day of the Dead tradition doesn't deny that there is immense grief in losing someone we love. That sadness is unquestionable, and those who celebrate the tradition understand that loss. But they also recognize that there is great value and a little bit of healing in paying tribute to our families and friends as a community by remembering in a festive public memorial our dearly departed with joy and never-ending love.
My name is Kathy Windrow. This altar is dedicated to my mother, Mary Frances Taylor Windrow. She was born in the summer of 1928 and died in the spring of 2020. She was a great influence on my life. She inspired me to pursue education, to love the outdoors, to care about other human beings, and I miss her every day. I'm so thankful that she lived long enough for me to tell her how much I loved her and how much she taught me. There are many things in this ofrenda that represent my mother's life. Her wedding day, her happiest day, is represented in the large photo at the top. Her graduation from the second time that she attended college, where she studied sociology and archaeology. Her love of music is represented in multiple ways. Her sheet music from playing the piano, a scarf covered with musical notes, and also her love of celebrating with champagne and oysters, figs, and other fruits. She loved reading. She was a voracious reader, so there's stacks of books on this altar. And there's evidence of her rock hounding in Colorado when we lived there and spent a lot of time in the woods. There are many references to the things that mattered in our family. And of all the altars that I've made over the last 30 or 35 years, this is the most important to me because it is the closest connection that I have to represent at this time. I'm showing you a little bit closer detail so you can see some of the things on the altar. Those are sugar skulls that I got in Oaxaca in the 1990s. She was a wonderful person.